Hello everyone, welcome back to Trek A Day, continuing on with my series of my 50 favorite Star Trek characters, moving on to number 30, Mackenzie Calhoun, the captain and main character in the New Frontier series of books. Now, if you're not familiar with the New Frontier series, they were a series of Star Trek novels and short stories, comics, everything that was handled very differently. It was its own series, and the novels were presented almost as if it was an, at the time, fifth new Star Trek series continuing off the era of TNG and DS9 and Voyager, just in book form instead of on screen. That's really how it was handled, and was a fantastic series that did feature a lot of characters from TNG in particular, as well as some previous Star Trek novels and things like that. And it fits perfectly into that time frame. So if you are a fan of that era of Star Trek, TNG, DS9, and Voyager, this is like a fourth series in that era, and as well worth the read. And why I like Mackenzie Calhoun so much, and he probably would actually be a lot higher on this list if this had been a real series. The fact that it only exists within the books, I really love this character, but having that sort of experience of a live action interpretation of it would have probably brought him even higher on this list. So the fact that he is an exclusive to that form of Star Trek and he's this high as one of my favorite characters goes to show how much I enjoy Mackenzie Calhoun and his adventures on the USS Excalibur. He's a very different captain, and it's a very different mission to what we're used to at the time. I think it's part of why he stands out. He has a very different background. At a very young age, he was a rebel leader and a war hero on his planet, and his path through life took a turn when he met a young Captain Picard and Jack Crusher from Stargazer, and he turned towards Starfleet in a very interesting career, as well as a lifelong on and off romantic relationship with Elizabeth Shelby, who became his first officer at the beginning of the New Frontier series on the Excalibur. He stands out as being an officer who can be beguiling but is often antagonistic. He's very brash, prone to aggressive behavior, a style and attitude which defies a lot of what you would think would be a successful career within Starfleet, but it all hides this truly brilliant strategic mind. And he has a way of approaching situations which is counter to the norm, but ends up being very productive, and it does still have a sense of Federation principles at heart. So it's a very unique command style that works with the interesting mission that he's given to enter the former Thelonian Empire after a collapse and uprising and all kinds of things that are built upon that within the course of the books, and starting with that core mission. He's always been a fascinating character. It's so cool that he has an action figure. It's one of my favorite Star Trek action figures. One of my kind of prized action figures is the Mackenzie Calhoun, because it's just so cool that a character from the books is so appreciated that he has an action figure of that captain who's one of my favorite Star Trek captains and one of my favorite characters.